The scariest person is not always the one who shouts. It is not always the one who leaves. Sometimes the scariest person is the one who hurts you, then looks at your pain and smiles. Not because they did not understand, not because it was a small mistake, but because they saw the damage in your eyes and something inside them stayed calm. Think about that person for a second. The one who insulted you, then acted casual. The one who embarrassed you, then laughed. The one who broke your trust, then spoke to you the next day like nothing happened. No guilt, no real apology. Just a normal face, just a smile. And somehow, that smile hurt more than the thing they did. Because pain is one thing, but watching someone enjoy your confusion is another. Have you ever been in that situation? You are sitting there with a heavy heart, replaying the moment again and again, asking yourself, how could they do that to me? And they are walking around peacefully, as if your pain was just background noise. That is when your mind begins to fight itself. You ask, maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I took it the wrong way. Maybe they did not mean it like that. Maybe I should just forget it. But deep down, you know when someone accidentally hurts you, and you know when someone hurts you, watches your reaction and enjoys the power. There is a difference. A person who hurts you by mistake becomes uncomfortable when they see your pain. Their voice becomes softer. Their face changes. They try to repair what they damaged. They may not have perfect words, but they have concern. They do not smile at your wound. They ask, "Are you okay?" But the person this video is about does something else. They watch you bleed emotionally, and they act untouched. They may smile, they may laugh, they may make a joke, they may say, "Why are you looking so serious?" And in that moment, they are telling you something without saying it. Your pain does not move them. Your tears do not stop them. Your silence does not shame them. And your love does not make them careful. That is not normal behavior from someone who truly cares about you. That is a warning. Some people smile after hurting you because your reaction gives them a feeling of control. They do not always want to destroy you loudly. Sometimes they only want to disturb your peace enough to prove they still have access to you. They say one cruel sentence, then watch your face. They ignore your message, then wait for you to panic. They disrespect a boundary, then wait to see if you will defend yourself or beg for understanding. And when you react, they smile. Because your reaction tells them, I still matter to this person. This is why some people hurt you in small pieces. Not enough for the world to notice. Not enough for you to explain easily. But enough for you to feel broken inside. A small insult here. A cold reply there. A joke that cuts too deep. A promise they never planned to keep. A smile when you are clearly hurt. And if you try to explain it to someone else, it sounds small. So you stay quiet. But inside, you know it was not small. Because it was not just what they did. It was the look on their face after doing it. It was the calmness. It was the smile. It was the way they made your pain feel like an overreaction. That is how emotional confusion begins. They hurt you, then they act innocent, then you feel guilty for being hurt, and suddenly the conversation is no longer about what they did. It becomes about how you reacted. They say, you always make things dramatic. They say, you cannot take a joke. They say, you are too emotional. They say, I was just being honest. They say, why are you still thinking about that? And slowly, they pull you away from the truth. The truth is simple. They crossed a line. But now you are busy defending your right to feel pain. That is the trap. A person who smiles after hurting you often wants you to explain yourself forever. Because while you are explaining, you are still connected. While you are defending your feelings, you are still giving them attention. While you are begging them to understand, they are still controlling the conversation. Ask yourself this, did someone ever hurt you, then make you feel sorry for bringing it up? Did someone ever disrespect you, then accuse you of ruining the mood? Did someone ever smile while you were trying not to cry? Did someone ever act confused about pain they clearly caused? If yes, then you have already met this kind of person. And maybe, for a long time, you kept trying to find a softer explanation. You told yourself they had a hard past. You told yourself they do not know how to express emotions. You told yourself maybe they love you in their own way. You told yourself one day they will understand. But sometimes the truth is colder than the excuse. Some people understand exactly what they are doing. They just do not want to be responsible for it. They want the benefits of your kindness without the duty of respecting it. They want your forgiveness without changing their behavior. They want your presence without protecting your heart. They want your loyalty while they test how much disrespect it can survive. And every time you stay after they hurt you, their smile becomes stronger. Because they learn a dangerous lesson. They learn that you can be wounded and still available. They learn that you can be disappointed and still answer. They learn that you can be disrespected and still forgive quickly. They learn that your heart is soft enough to return even after being broken. Good people do not always understand this. Good people think forgiveness teaches others to become better. But with the wrong person, forgiveness teaches them how far they can go. This is why you must stop giving unlimited chances to people who use your heart like a test, because some people are not asking for forgiveness because they are sorry. They are asking because they want access again. Their smile is dangerous because it can be hidden. It can be small. It can be calm. It can be inside a joke. It can appear right after they say something that cuts you. And if you notice it, they will deny it. They will say, "What? I was not smiling." They will say, "You are imagining things." They will say, "You always think badly about me." And now you are trapped again, because you are not only hurt, you are defending what you saw with your own eyes. This is how they make you doubt yourself. They only need to confuse you enough that you stop trusting your own feelings. Once you stop trusting yourself, they can control the story. They can hurt you and call it honesty. They can ignore you and call it space. They can disrespect you and call it humor. They can betray you and call it a mistake. But listen carefully. Your pain is not proof that you are weak. Your reaction is not proof that you are dramatic. Your tears are not proof that you are childish. Sometimes your body understands danger before your mind is ready to accept it. That heavy feeling in your chest, that sudden quietness after they speak, that strange shame you feel after telling them you are hurt, that anxiety before opening their message, that fear of saying the wrong thing. That is not love. That is not peace. That is your inner self warning you. Something is not safe here. Because anyone can smile when things are easy, but character is revealed after they hurt you. Do they repair or do they blame? Do they listen or do they laugh? Do they soften or do they smile like your pain is entertainment? A safe person feels responsible when they hurt you. An unsafe person feels powerful. And the most painful part is this. The unsafe person often knows you are a good person. They know you will try to understand. They know you will give them the benefit of the doubt. They know you will look for the good in them, even while they are showing you the worst. That is why they choose you. Not because you are weak, but because your kindness gives them room to hide. Your patience gives them time. Your love gives them access. Your hope gives them another chance. But there comes a day when your heart becomes tired, not because you stopped caring, but because caring for someone who keeps injuring you becomes a slow form of self-abandonment. You begin to lose yourself. You stop speaking freely. You start measuring every word. You start apologizing for emotions you did not create. You start accepting small disrespect because you are afraid of losing the relationship. But what kind of relationship requires you to lose yourself to keep it alive? What kind of love makes you afraid to say, "You hurt me"? What kind of person smiles while you are trying to explain your wound? These are the questions that wake you up, and once you wake up, you cannot go back to pretending. You begin to see the pattern. The apology that sounds good but changes nothing. The smile that appears when you are vulnerable. The joke that always has a little cruelty inside it. The calm face that appears only after they have made you emotional. The way they make you look unstable while they stand there like the victim. This is one of their favorite tricks. They provoke you quietly, then judge your reaction publicly. They push your heart until it breaks, then point at the pieces and say, "Look how dramatic you are." And when you finally react, they become calm. That calmness is not always maturity. Sometimes it is strategy, because now the focus is on your tone, not their behavior. Now the focus is on your anger, not their disrespect. Now everyone is asking why you reacted, but nobody is asking what they did to make you reach that point. So let this be the moment you stop playing that game. You do not need to scream to prove you were hurt. You do not need to write long messages to prove you have a heart. You do not need to beg someone to understand pain they caused on purpose. And you do not need to keep giving access to someone who smiles at your damage. Sometimes silence is not weakness. Sometimes silence is the first sign that you have finally chosen yourself. Not revenge, not manipulation, but quiet distance. The kind of distance that says, I saw what you did. The kind of distance that says, I heard what you said. The kind of distance that says, I watched how you smiled after hurting me, and I will never forget what that taught me. Because the lesson is not to hate them. The lesson is to stop handing them the weapon. Stop giving them your deepest feelings if they use them against you. Stop explaining your pain to someone who studies it for weaknesses. Stop offering your loyalty to someone who treats it like a guarantee. Stop returning to the place where your heart is not protected. People who enjoy your pain are not scared of your anger. They are scared of your peace. Your anger still gives them attention. Your arguments still give them a stage. Your explanations still give them power. But your peace removes them from the center of your life. Your peace says, you can smile, but you cannot reach me anymore. That is when you become free. Not when they apologize. Not when they admit what they did. Not when they finally feel guilty. You become free when you stop needing them to confess for you to trust your own truth. You know what happened. You know how it felt. You know what you saw. You know how they smiled. And that is enough. Closure is not always a conversation. Sometimes closure is deleting the long message. Sometimes closure is not answering the call. Sometimes closure is choosing not to explain the same wound to the same person again. Sometimes closure is admitting they knew, they just did not care. And yes, that hurts, but it also saves you, because once you accept the truth, you stop negotiating with disrespect. You stop shrinking your pain to keep someone comfortable. You stop calling cruelty a misunderstanding. You stop calling emotional damage love. You stop calling their smile harmless. Some smiles are not warm. Some smiles are warnings. Some smiles mean, I got away with it. Some smiles mean, you still care. Some smiles mean, I can hurt you and you will still stay. And the day you stop staying, that smile loses its meaning. So if you are listening to this and someone came to your mind, do not ignore that. There is a reason you thought of them. Maybe it was a friend, maybe it was someone you loved, maybe it was someone in your family, maybe it was someone you kept forgiving because you did not want to lose them. Ask yourself honestly, how many times did you explain your pain? How many times did they change for a few days and then return to the same behavior? How many times did you feel guilty for having normal feelings? How many times did their smile make you feel smaller? And how many more times will you let your heart pay the price for their lack of care? You deserve people who become gentle when they know you are hurt. You deserve people who do not enjoy your confusion. You deserve people who do not use your kindness as a playground for their ego. You deserve peace that does not require constant explanation. You deserve love that does not make you feel foolish for having feelings. The person who smiles after hurting you is showing you who they are when your pain is in their hands. Believe the evidence, not the promises, not the excuses. Not the beautiful words after they realize you are leaving. Believe the pattern, because the pattern is the real personality of the relationship. And if the pattern keeps breaking you, then distance is not cruelty. Distance is wisdom. Distance is self-respect. Distance is the boundary your past self was too tired to build. So the next time someone hurts you and smiles like nothing happened, do not rush to explain. Do not ask them to understand. Do not give them another full map of your heart. Just pause. Look at the pattern. Listen to your body and ask one powerful question. Is this person safe with my pain? If the answer is no, then you already know what to do. Protect your peace. Protect your mind. Protect the softest part of you, because not everyone who gets close to your heart deserves to stay there. And the strongest reply to someone who smiled after hurting you is not revenge. It is not begging. It is not proving your worth. It is becoming unavailable to the version of them that thought your pain was nothing. Walk away quietly, heal privately, grow silently, and let your peace become the answer they never expected. Comment, I saw the smile, if you have ever met someone who hurt you, and then smiled like nothing happened.